Hurricane Milton, the monster storm that has more than doubled in size as it is approaching Florida, Michael Snyder reports. The worst case scenario that many meteorologists were fearing is here. Hurricane Milton making landfall on the west coast of Florida very early today, and it will do so as much larger storm than originally anticipated. And as you'll see below, the size of Hurricane Milton's wind field has more than doubled since Tuesday afternoon. That means that this storm will do catastrophic damage over a much wider area than the experts originally thought. At this point, some scientists are warning that the total damage from Hurricane Milton could potentially exceed the total damage that we witnessed during Hurricane Katrina. This has been such a strange storm. According to CBS News, Hurricane Milton is the quickest storm on record to rapidly intensify into Category 5 in the Gulf of Mexico. Milton is the quickest storm on record to rapidly intensify into a Category 5 in the Gulf of Mexico, Nolan said. On Sunday, the system was a tropical storm with sustained winds of 60 miles an hour. Just 24 hours later, its wind speeds had leapt to 175 miles an hour, far above Category 5 threshold of 157 miles an hour. Of course, wind speeds is only one part of the equation. The size of the wind field is also an exceedingly important factor, and as I discussed above, Milton's wind field has more than doubled since Tuesday afternoon. Milton is a powerful hurricane, and its wind field is growing according to the latest data from the National Hurricane Center. Milton's tropical storm force winds now extend 250 miles from its center, especially on its northern side. The same winds extended 105 miles from its center early Tuesday afternoon. Its wind field could grow further ahead of and after landfall, bringing damaging winds to much of the Florida peninsula. Tropical storm force wind gusts have already been observed along parts of the state's west coast, from north of the Tampa Bay area through the Keys. We have never seen anything quite like this before. Milton is producing a jaw-dropping symphony of lightning bolts that literally never stops, and it has already spawned numerous tornadoes on the Florida peninsula. Historic, catastrophic, life-threatening, all those words summarize the situation, said Austin Flannery, a forecaster with the National Weather Service in Tampa. Tornadic supercells, dangerous, rotating thunderstorms that can produce tornadoes, were beginning to sweep across the Florida peninsula. The Upside said that more than 12 million people were under tornado warnings, and the National Weather Service in Miami said on social media it had up to 4 visually confirmed tornadoes today, with unofficial reports of others. A lot of people in South Florida thought that they would not get hit hard by this storm, but a tornado spawned by Milton literally crossed I-75 earlier today. As Florida's Gulf Coast braces for the impacts of Hurricane Milton Wednesday, the storm is causing severe weather across the state, even in Miami. The National Weather Service Miami shared photos of a tornado crossing Interstate 75 Wednesday as cars were still driving on the highway. Tornado crossing I-75 as we speak. Seek shelter now, the agency wrote on social media. I feel like I have been watching footage from a Hollywood disaster movie. In Fort Myers, a tornado spawned by Hurricane Milton absolutely ripped a 7-Eleven convenience store to shreds. Hurricane Milton has already spawned tornadoes in Florida hours before its projected landfall, and the city of Fort Myers was pummeled by one. Video and photos show damaged houses, fallen trees, and a mangled 7-Eleven gas station. A piece of the 7-Eleven's canopy went airborne and ended up wrapped around the bottom of a tree. When it finally makes landfall, it's being projected that Milton will be either a Category 3 or Category 4 storm, but on AccuWeather's real impact scale for hurricanes, it will be considered a Category 5 storm because of the potential devastation that it could cause. On Wednesday, as Milton encounters some wind shear and another eye wall replacement cycle, it's forecast to expand in size and lose some wind intensity, De Silva said. Milton will make landfall as a formidable Category 3 to 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale late Wednesday evening, De Silva said. However, Hurricane experts continue to maintain that Milton will strike in the impacts of a 5 on AccuWeather's real impact scale for hurricanes, which takes into account storm surge, flooding rainfall, population affected, and economic impacts above and beyond the Safford-Simpson scale, which takes into account only maximum sustained winds. The damage from this storm is going to ultimately affect all of us. According to CNN, approximately 3% of U.S. GDP is directed in the path of the storm. Hurricane Milton's projected devastation in Florida could have a ripple effect on the broader U.S. economy, impacting jobs, travel, manufacturing, retail sales, housing, and other factors. About 3% of America's gross domestic product, the broadest measure of the U.S. economy, is directly in Milton's path, according to Ryan Sweet, chief U.S. economist for Oxford Economics. As I discussed yesterday, it's being projected that in the worst case scenario, this storm could potentially cause up to $175 billion in economic damage. Interestingly, Hurricane Milton is heading directly towards one of Pfizer's most important facilities. The following was posted by Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla on Tuesday. Like many people, I have watched with a heavy heart as the scale of the damage caused by Hurricane Helene has become fully evident. Now it seems Hurricane Milton is headed towards the Tampa area, where we have a major Pfizer facility. As always at Pfizer, we stand with our colleagues, their families, and the communities facing these immense challenges. We are committed to doing everything we can to provide support during this difficult time. Many of the homes and businesses in the path of the storm will be completely destroyed, and now we're being told that another major storm is rapidly developing in the Atlantic. With more than 7 weeks left in the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, there's a good chance that catastrophic Hurricane Milton won't be the last storm to impact the U.S. this year. In fact, forecasters are continuing to watch several other systems across the Atlantic basin, including one east of Florida that could become Tropical Storm Nadine later Wednesday. This has been the most unusual hurricane season that I've ever seen. We're not supposed to be hit by 2 once-in-a-century storms in less than a month, and a tropical storm is not supposed to develop into Category 5 hurricane in less than 24 hours. We truly live in unprecedented times, and things are only going to get crazier from here. Please pray for those in the path of Hurricane Milton, because they are definitely going to need it. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. About the author, Michael Snyder's new book entitled Why is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 8 other books available on Amazon, including Chaos, End of the End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies, Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.